Welcome, welcome. Good to be with all of you guys this afternoon. So glad that so many of you can join us. We'd rather be with no other bunch of people than the folks who join our podcast every single day by the hundreds. Good to see you guys. Good to have you here. Wherever you are joining us from around the world, let us know that you guys are receiving the audio well. And believe it or not, today we're out of studio and we're going to be talking about a very, very serious matter that has drawn us out of the studio today. So forgive us if the audio is not what it's supposed to be. And if you might hear any background noises that you're not accustomed to hearing, but we are so glad that all of you are here with us. The guys are going to give us a cue if we are going good on the outside. But good to see you guys wherever you are. And I trust, we always start by talking about the weather. And I trust that wherever you guys are joining us from around the world, that the weather is treating you guys great. We really hope so, that the weather is treating you guys great. But just to let you know that in Georgetown, where we left to do this outside broadcast from this special edition of our program, in Georgetown, it is 29 degrees outside. But weather.com, that's our favorite place to check into for the weather. They're telling us it feels like 33 degrees, but we hope the guys in the studio are enjoying that weather. 33 degrees outside. It feels like that, but it's 29 degrees. And they're telling us that there's a 72% chance that it's going to rain. Believe it or not, there's a 72% chance it's going to rain. So welcome to our podcast. All of you who are joining us, welcome to our international podcast, Below the Belt. And where we are just off of Tempe. They say this area where we are, it's called number 30 Village, West Coast Beach, and it's also called Union. Am I right, guys? Yes. It's also called Union. I have to do my homework to make sure that I let you guys know exactly where I am. We're on the west coast of Beach. It's called number 30 Village, but also called Union. And we're here for a particular reason today. We're going to be talking with some folks out here in Union, number 30 Village, West Coast Beach. Folks, we are following up on that part of our coverage. They're doing a follow-up tragedy at the Mahaica Bridge. And you guys know that there was a high-speed chase. And as a result of that, two young people died as a result of that chase. Christopher Bagwendat and Sharida Prasad died also. The policeman who was involved in that matter, Corporal Lawrence Carmichael, who was subsequently charged and placed on a $1.5 million bail, was charged, and the families have been very, very upset, and notably so. Today, we are joined by some relatives of Corporal Carmichael, Corporal Lawrence Carmichael. We're going to be talking with his mother, and we're going to be talking with his uncle as well, right? His cousin. Yeah, his cousin. We're going to be talking to his cousin as well. And folks, I want you to share the podcast, smash that emoji button. This is an issue that has achieved national attention, and we wanted to hear from relatives and friends of Mr. Carmichael himself on the advice of his lawyers. He's not going to be talking with us today, but as soon as his lawyers are able to brief him and he's able to talk with them, this is a very sensitive issue. We are going to be talking with him perhaps, but we're going to be talking with his mother, Samantha. We're going to be talking with his cousin, Sheldon, folks. Again, welcome to our podcast. Those of you who are joining us from around the world, those of you who are joining us from right here in Guyana, great to be with you guys. And we're going to give you guys a second or so to share the podcast, to splash that emoji button as well. So glad to be here with you guys, joining you from a very sunny West Coast Beach, and we're in number 30 Village, also known as Union. Really good to be here with you, and no doubt we have all the usual suspects with us, guys, and forgive us if we don't give you guys a shout-out as we usually do. But under the circumstances, we want to get right into our subject matter. So please bear with us, guys. Again, for those of you who are now joining us, welcome to our podcast, Below the Belt, and a very special program today, getting right into things. We're following up on this tragedy at the Mahaica Bridge, a story that we have covered involving the now deceased Christopher Bagwendat, Sharida Prasad, the driver of that police vehicle that was involved in the high-speed chase, Corporal Lawrence Carmichael. We're talking with his mother today, Samantha Carmichael, and his cousin Sheldon. They are joining us, and I'm going to be talking with his mother first up. And I'm very, very happy that she has agreed to talk with us on this very, very sensitive issue. Miss Carmichael, a very good day, and welcome to our podcast. I'm very certain by now you've had a good chance perhaps to talk with your son and perhaps to see some of the comments that have been out there to get a sense of what transpired on this very, very fateful day of this high-speed chase, the loss of lives there by the Mahaica Bridge. Tell us in your own words what you think transpired on that day.
On that day, on February the 2nd, I was out at the Fort Benton Magistrate, and I received a phone call from one of the officers who told me that my son Lawrence is in Mahaica Hospital involved in an accident, and the phone cut off. I said, okay, I will be there in a few minutes. When I get there, I saw Lawrence on the bed, other officers on the bed, and I started to cry while I was consoled with friends at the hospital. Anyhow, came outside, I saw one of the officers' mother and his wife outside. Spoke to them, and we all were consoling one another. But the accident that I heard is that my son was on patrol at Now and Never Mahaica in Adoran. And on that day, we received a phone call from some other police, from some other station, stating there is some car coming. I should proceed. They refused that phone call because it was a normal cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Another phone call from, I can't remember if it's Mahaica police station, on the handset. There is a car coming with just a person that escaped from some roadblock and need to proceed. However, me and other officers, they do their job by proceeding the vehicle.
So Corporal Carmichael wasn't the initial officers who stopped Mr. Christopher Bagwandat. They weren't the initial officers who stopped him.
They were not the first officers who stopped him. They might be the second or the third officer who stopped him. And my son said he stopped the vehicle. He was the third vehicle or the second vehicle in line. And he approached the vehicle and said, take the corner. Bagwandat, or whoever was the driver, take the corner. But when they approached the vehicle went away. And
so they signaled the Bagwandat's vehicle from their vehicle.
Right. No, they did not signal. They signaled all the vehicles. Because Bagwandat was the second or the third vehicle.
Yeah.
They signaled all the vehicles to the corner. While approaching Bagwandat's vehicle, Bagwandat went away. And they decided to proceed behind it because they want to know what is it that he's fencing away from, that he don't want to stop. And there's where the accident, however, happened. Where Bagwandat hit the truck, and then Corporal Carmichael's vehicle hit the truck also.
So it wasn't a case where the vehicle that was driven by Corporal Lawrence Carmichael would have maybe jammed or braced.
No, it did not jam.
Bagwandat's vehicle.
No way. Because if you look at the footage, there is no way. And I asked him, said, Mommy, I did not. I did not knock Bagwandat's vehicle.
And what was there's this huge impact we saw from the video footage that had been in circulation on social media at the Mahaica Bridge there. What was the extent of your son's injury, Corporal Lawrence Carmichael?
Well, he had his foot. The left foot was maintained and his head, because the bottle been sticking in his head. So he had to get that piece of hair cut off. Yeah, he had pain in his head. Oh, no, he still get the pain in his foot. But he still goes back to do the government job.
So I want to make sure that we're very clear for our viewers. Corporal Lawrence Carmichael, in the line of duty, got instructions from his superiors that there was a vehicle heading their way,
That's right.
and that vehicle should be apprehended.
That's right.
And in the line of his duty, he did precisely that, pulled over the vehicle, along with other vehicles, and in the process of approaching the young man's vehicle, Mr. Christopher Bagwendat, the vehicle sped off.
That's right.
Do you know how long Mr. Bagwendat's vehicle was being pursued before they got to the Mahaica Bridge?
Approximately maybe 20 minutes or more. Let's proceed. Because from Welland to Maiconi, that's fairly a couple of minutes. And from Maiconi to Mahaica, it's the next half an hour.
Because, most persons, when they hear that, thought, it couldn't have been so long, but from Welland all the way to Mahaica Bridge.
That's right.
That's a long pursuit.
Yeah.
Very interesting. But that being said, the accident has happened at the Mahaica Bridge. Your son sustained some injuries. The result is that you had the young Mr. Christopher Bagwendat and Sharida Prasad, who lost their lives as a result of that. Did the police investigation, as far as you know, give any indication of why Mr. Bagwendat did not want to pull over?
That's the same question I asked. Why did he pull over? Is there something hiding? Is it something in the vehicle that the police don't know about? So that's why the police decided to take action in hand. You understand? Now they charge my son and say he is a murderer. The paper come back from DPP saying dangerous driving causing death. So I want to know, or I want to hear, how come he is a murderer and he was charged with dangerous driving causing death? Is it something more than that? I don't understand.
We've had a chance in the process of covering the issue to listening to the mother of Christopher Bagwendat. I don't think we've heard from the young lady's family, Sharida Prasad, who lost her life on that fateful day. But Rohina, or is it Rihanna Bagwendat, seemed to be very upset that the DPP would have only advised in charges of dangerous driving. I think members of her family would have thought that his son might have even been charged for murder. Exactly. What are your thoughts?
My son is not a criminal. He never murdered a woman. He was doing his job. And let me say, he did not proceed behind the vehicle as he was called to. Okay? And Sharida was kidnapped. And he didn't go. Tomorrow morning, the government would have been charging him not doing their work. The government or the police work. And this is the kind of life we are living in today.
This is a very, very touching story, folks. For those of you who are now joining the podcast, we are outdoors today. We're all the way in Region 5. We're in Mahaica. We're actually in Berbice. We're in an area called Union. It's number 30 Village. And we are following up on the tragedy at the Mahaica Bridge. We are talking with the family members of Corporal Lawrence Carmichael, his mother in particular, Samantha Carmichael. We're also going to be talking with his cousin as well. Miss Carmichael, again, we've had some time since this fateful event took place. Have you, by any chance, been in contact with the young people's family, Christopher Bagwendat and Sharida?
No, I never went with the family. I never consulted with the family because the way I see the mother of Mr. Bagwendat behave, it's like you cannot speak to her. Sharida's sad family, I can't say much about them because I really didn't look at these videos so much, but mother of Mr. Bagwendat. If her son didn't leave East Coast to come to Berbice, take the young lady out of school, should have been in school today. We all sorry that things happen that way. But there is a God, He sees and He knows. Okay? Me and you are two different sets of people living in Guyana. We are Indians, we are black, we all look out for one another. It's not the case that I'm happy that she passed and the young man passed. It could have been the police. all of them could have gone too. You understand? But if he had been proceed and take caution, the police officer says, stop and comply. There is no way they cannot beat him, they cannot kick him, they cannot throw him overboard. He would just get his charge and both parties in his life today.
The other question that I have for you, your son has now been charged. He's been placed on $1.5 million bail, and I have his uncle Sheldon, as I said, his cousin Sheldon with us as well. What did you guys think about that?
I feel that it's too much. It's too much. He's not a criminal. He's not a murderer. He's not a thief man. He was doing the government job, and that's too much.
Folks, I have his uncle, his cousin, as I said. Why am I saying his uncle all there? Apologies, sir. Sheldon is with us, and I want to know, in his mind, how are you making sense of all of this as a family member to Corporal Lawrence Carmichael? What are your thoughts?
Well, from my point of view, Mr. Carmichael was doing his work. And if the subordinate call on him to do something, he has to comply. Okay? And he did comply. He had no choice at that time. He was on the streets doing his work. They called him to give that carriage aid. He did. But then I don't see that was a criminal offense. I see it as an offense to charge in criminal court for causing death by dangerous driving. He didn't kill these people. He didn't hit the vehicle or nothing. And this highly sum of money that he was on bail with, I don't know how this all worked out. To me, he has been treated like a criminal right now, for me, of which I see him as a criminal. But, hey, the government seemed that way, the police force seemed that way, because that's the way they're treating it.
The other thing that we've seen out there is that we've seen citizens on social media take to social media, and they say that people in similar circumstances seem to be treated much differently. And I wanted to get your thoughts. People who would have been involved in similar, not necessarily similar accidents, but people would have been involved in will have their actions result in fatalities. Treated much different, and I wanted to capture your thoughts on that.
On April 9, 2001, this woman, Donna McLennan, was being shot outside of Parliament Building. Freedom House, sorry. And it was alleged that the police did that to her. And today, that person has not been charged. Okay? I know maybe Mr. Carmichael is a different police. Maybe working with himself or something. But he has been charged for some persons that he never killed. It was an accident. He did not kill these people. Prior to that, there was this teacher who was killed in a road accident in number 7 by a PV teacher's water. And I'm not sure if he's in charge as well. Mr. Balgobin, who works with the Ministry of Finance.
Interesting.
Yeah. He's not been charged. Recently, we had this accident over on the side here, where these 3 people were been murdered, killed by accident, on the 8th of March. We're still waiting to see what will be the outcome of that one. I do hope that person gets a similar charge as Mr. Carmichael, or even more, and then have to pay more than Mr. Carmichael bail. Or else, we're going to have to do something about it same way. Yeah. Because I don't even have to go this long way. I don't see. He was doing his job. His job. It's not my job or her job. He was doing his job what he signed up for. That's what he was doing. But still, at the end of the day, he was wrong to do his job. So then, what the police should do in this country?
Sheldon, I think you were saying basically that Corporal Lawrence Carmichael is being treated unfairly.
Exactly. Exactly my point.
He's being treated unfairly. You have, I think, the corporal's mother, Samantha Carmichael, you talk about it earlier, but I want to come back essentially to this whole issue. You have the victims of this being Christopher Bagwandad and Sharida Prasad. They've lost their lives regardless. You know, you have a chance for them. Certain the parents and families will be alerted to this podcast that you guys were on. They're going to listen to you. You have a chance to talk to them. What would you say to them?
I will ask the mother of Mr. Bagwandad. If her son, as a mother, we should talk to our children. Okay, I do. And as a mother, she did not know her son was leaving East Coast to Berbice. She said it was her birthday, and he's supposed to be there for her birthday. And your son is in Berbice, Bushland Secondary School, picking up somebody else's child that she don't know about, taking it to her residence. And she said she don't know the child. They were waiting until the child finished school and then they will visit the family. And that did not happen. He did it on his phone, unknowing to her. Take the child to school, causing her to die. I think the staff family should protect her for their child, that her son killed. It's not the police kill him. It's not the police kill her. If he had listened and obeyed the officers, he would have been alive today and would have told her.
I heard you also say early on in our broadcast that mother to mother that you were also sad for the loss of life.
Yes, I'm sad because it's not an easy road. It's not an easy road. We all travel it every day, and so many things we see on this road. We need to obey the police because if it was me, I have to obey. My son is in the office of this guy in the police force. If he got to lock me up, he has to do. I cannot resist it.
This whole incident of this high speed chase is going to haunt us for a long time, I think, as a country, because it made such national headlines. How's your son doing? How's he doing?
He's in and out.
In and out, meaning what?
Sometimes he don't even want to hear me sometimes. Sometimes he just say, Mommy, leave me alone. Let me just think. Sometimes he goes to bed and sleep and eat. Until yesterday, we coming home, he went off the first, he did not eat. He eats till about 3, 4 o'clock in the evening and he leaves work. Then he's when he got something to eat. And sometimes he just sleep. Just let him sleep and relax. It's not an easy thing. You have to go through it. And if I'm not there, I don't know what will happen. And God is Cousin Sheldon. Keep us in touch.
What is your sense of, because I'm certain you guys are on social media, you look at the commentary on this matter, you look at the update. What are your thoughts about how people have responded to this whole situation of the tragedy at the Mahaica Bridge?
Well, I look at all the comments. I look at some of them. There are some people who still wondering why he had to be charged that way. While some people, you know how it is. Some people, and not everybody gonna be for you. Some would be against, some would be for. The ones that was for, you know, we welcome your comments. We welcome your thoughts. We're there with you. You're there with us. So let's keep doing what we are doing. We must have negative people in whatever we are doing, but don't make that won't make us turn from supporting Mr. Carmichael, my cousin. It won't stop us. We are going to support him because I know for sure he was not wrong to do what he did. And he did not cause an accident. He did not. If that young man had stopped from the very first roadblock, all he would have got is a charge, nothing else. He would have been alive today with all of us. But maybe he did not want the police them to know he had an underage child in the car or whatever the case is, or maybe he had drugs or he had gun or something which we don't know about. We don't know. So the police had to do their work. They had to go after him. They had no choice. Because if it was me, they would have come after me too. Because they don't have a choice. They don't know why the reason why I didn't stop for them to sort or ask me a question or two. I just run off. So they had to go after him. It's his fault that he did not stop. He should have stopped. He should have stopped. Even though you had an underage child in your car, make some excuse. They can't tell you the child does not belong to you. It's not a family of yours. They can't tell you that. But you keep going. For what reason? Now you're claiming now. Corporal Carmichael is a murderer. Your family. Did he drive you overboard? Did he throw you guys? What did you do? This murderer that you are wanting to you? I don't know. But I think we need to find out this from the court that is charging. I don't know if I will go to the government, but I want to know if it moves now to a political offense. Because to me, that's where it's gone. It's all about politics now. I am not a politician. I am not a part of politics. I am a neutral person. But then at the same time, it shows me now that politics is involved in this. Yeah, it is. I don't know what we can do, but we will continue to go to the court whenever they call for court. We will go, we will turn up because he's innocent. He did not murder them. He did not. So I need people to stop saying things that they don't know what went down. What they need to do is find out from the individual what went down before you start giving all these different negative vibes out there. We need to find out what is going on first before we negative. If we keep negative, we can't get positive. But I don't expect everybody to be positive on its side. You must get some negative. And that is what is going on right now.
This case, those persons who are now joining us, welcome to our podcast, Below the Belt, and we're talking about the tragedy of the Mahaica Bridge, where Christopher Bagwandas and Shuida Prasad lost their lives as a result of a high-speed chase that was occurring at that time. Corporal Lawrence Carmichael has been charged, placed on $1.5 million bail. Thus far, we're talking with his mother, Samantha, with his cousin, Sheldon, who was speaking out about this issue and how he has been treated. This matter is being tried in the court of public opinion. What would you say people don't know about this issue? For instance, you told us early on that Corporal Carmichael was not the first officers who tried to intercept Mr. Christopher Bagwandas' vehicle. It was, as a matter of fact, a number of police officers along the route there from Bushmart who would have tried to apprehend the vehicle, and that Corporal Carmichael got a call from the station or some other rank that said to them, his unit, to stop this particular vehicle, outline the vehicle and the person and so forth. And it's in the line of doing that, that their vehicle pulled over Mr. Bagwandas' vehicle, which at the time was carrying himself and Shuida Prasad.
Yeah.
What might you, are there other things that you think that the public doesn't know about this whole issue?
I think they should know about the whole issue that Mr. Bagwandas leaves East Coast to Bushlot, take the young lady out of school. She's a teenage child. And according to the president, or whoever she was last year, 2021, was there talking about traffic offense. And to my understanding today, my son was charged for murder according to the charge that come back for him. He was charged with dangerous driving causing death. And the mother is saying, that mother is saying that my child murdered herself. I was so sad. Why is it that he come from East Coast to Bushrat and take her out some unknown to her parents, unknown to his parents? Isn't it that right? On his way back to town with her? A teenager child of that? Come on, you need to get real.
You know, aside from whatever are the reasons why he might have come for her, the general way in which people are using the road that are resulting in all of these road fatalities. Here you had Mr. Bagwandat, as you guys said, would have not been yielding to several officers in the course of pursuing him, pulling over.
Yeah.
He's been trying to evade police, stopping him.
Yeah.
Outside of that, what would you say to people who use the road generally? As you guys, as his cousin Sheldon just told us, you know, if we look at the William issue, you got people who are racing, people definitely not needing, you know, to how we should be using the road, people who might be inebriated and driving. What would be your caution to people out there as they use the road and perhaps even as they engage traffic ranks on the road?
Well, we need to stop. If a police officer stops us, we need to stop and comply. That's their duty. You cannot quarrel. You just have to leave the officers do their job. And if he has to get charged, we have to get charged. We cannot run away from the fact. So Mr. Bago, that should have complied. Today, he would have been alive today, also, Mr. Sad.
You know, you have people, especially the relatives of Christopher Bagwandat, Sharice Prasad, who lost their lives in the process of this high-speed chase, regretfully, calling for justice. What do you guys think justice looks like from your standpoint in this sad situation? What does justice look like?
I want to know what is the justice they're looking for. Because at least I know my child did not murder them. He did not cause them to get the act. They contribute to their own death.
Sheldon, anything from your side?
I don't know what justice these people want. I feel the justice that they are looking for is for him to go to prison. But sending him to prison for doing his job, I don't know what the other police officers will do if Mr. Carmichael has to go to prison for doing his job, because they can be placed in similar situations after that. Why send him to prison?
Very interesting. Very interesting.
You know, they treat him like a criminal. They handcuff him. They carry him into court with handcuff from his hand. For what reason?
You're contending all of this was in the line of duty.
Yeah. He was on duty at the time when all this accident happened. They never stopped him from work from then to now. He still works. He goes to court. When he has to go to court, the next day he goes back. They never stopped him from work. For what reason, I do not know. These people want his justice. I don't know what justice is. And there are other people out there who need justice and they are getting justice. They are not getting justice. And they need justice. But I guess because Mr. Carmichael is whatever guy needs, different from the rest, he has to pay the price. He has to pay the price. But I don't see him as a murderer for murder two people on job. He wasn't on vacation and they called him out, or he wasn't walking on the road off duty that day and they called him. He was on duty. He was doing his work. He was called to do his work, and he did it. But still, he has been charged, placed on $1.5 million bail. Unreasonable. Unreasonable. I don't think this matter was a matter for the criminal court. I don't think so. I'm not a police, but I think it's not a criminal matter. What we gonna do? That's the country we're living in now. So we just have to go with whatever we're going to do.
Is there anything both Ms. Carmichael, mother to Corporal Lawrence Carmichael, who's been charged with this, causing dangerous driving according to the Director of Public Prosecution, or you, Sheldon, that anything else you want to say to the public on this matter?
Yes, I think the Commissioner of Police should look into this matter more better than how he's doing his job. Yes, we all applaud him for his job.
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. Ali, our president of Guyana, they need to look into this matter. It's the government's job, and they need to look into it. And my son needs to get his justice free. He needs to be justice free. He's not a criminal.
So you say that justice for your family means that because his son was, as you guys are saying, in the line of duty, doing his job,
yes,
he should walk free.
Yes, sir. He should walk free because there is no way he did not kill a bag with that and to start fast. He did not. Because of his duty he was doing, and he was told to do his duty. So I think the government and Guyana State Security Commander of Police need to look into this matter and do something immediately.
All right. I want to thank you guys, both you, Ms. Carmichael, Samantha Carmichael, mother of Corporal Lawrence Carmichael, and his cousin Sheldon, for spending this time today and putting all the facts as you guys know them to be on this issue. I know it's a very, very sensitive issue, and we are all hoping that justice is served.
Yes, justice must serve. And it's a very, very important situation when it comes to this matter. If not, what I'm saying, if there is no justice for the police in this matter, all the police should allow the vehicle to pass. Don't do your job, allow the police to pass. Whatever pass, pass. Because if they didn't do their job, it's going to be a different story. You do your job, it's a different story. You don't do your job, it's a different story. Where you see they must allow all the vehicles to pass. Don't stop them, keep passing. Whenever pass, pass.
Mm-hmm. 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 Guys, we're going to stay on this story. And again, we want to thank both Samantha and Sheldon for joining us. Again, Samantha is the mother of Corporal Lawrence Carmichael, who has been charged for dangerous driving. And Sheldon is his cousin. They've been talking with us about this, what is the tragedy at the Mahaica Bridge, where in the course of being pursued by police ranks who had intercepted Christopher Bagwand's vehicle, tried to intercept it several times, met his very, very untimely demise along with Sharita Prasad at the Mahaica Bridge there. And Corporal Lawrence Carmichael was charged, as I said, for dangerous driving. He was put on $1.5 million bail. The family, as you would have heard, is contending that is too much, and that ultimately justice for them means that Corporal Lawrence Carmichael should go free. This matter has been out there. It's a public interest in the public domain. It's being tried, as I said, in the court of public opinion. You guys have had a chance to listen to family members as much as you've had a chance to listen to the mother of Christopher Bagwandad, Rihanna Carmichael. And as you said, let the chips fall where they may and let justice be done. The matter is before the court. And you've heard from Corporal Lawrence Carmichael's family. And we for our part, we're going to be keeping you guys up to date and updated as to how this issue is going. You've heard them highlight that in several instances, there have been other road fatalities as a result of accidents on the road, and people seem very connected and not be charged and no action is taken. And here you heard the family articulate that in the course of discharging his duties as a police rank, that from the best of their knowledge, young Mr. Christopher Bagwandat was asked to pull over several times between Bushlot and, as we said, where we met his untimely demise at the Mahaica Bridge. And he would have refused to do so, and he would have lost his life ultimately at the Mahaica Bridge. Young Sharida Prasad was in the car with him at the time, who, according to reports that are out there, was supposed to be at school, and she was with Mr. Prasad at the time. I think some reports even indicated that would have been unknown to his or her family at the time. That being said, folks, those are the issues that we have. And I think Corporal Lawrence Carmichael's mother wants to add something else to the discussion. Go ahead, ma'am.
Yes, sir. In 2019, I lost my second son in a road accident, right at Bushlot turn.
Tell us about that.
Yeah. Oh, no, I'm still waiting for justice. He and a friend was in a car coming from Bushlot, speeding. My son was a passenger. The friend was a driver. My son died on the spot. And I'm still waiting for justice. I did not behave like Bagwadat's mother. I did not behave like the Prasad family. I'm still waiting. The family comes, we talk, but they never come up with, this is what we're going to do or what. They come up with, every minute is like, what you want. I'm still waiting. I'm a patient person. I'm still waiting. I ain't going to media and behave bad until now. I ain't going to police station and behave bad. They were in our yard for everything that we had. The wake, funeral, everything. I ain't behave bad. I laugh, I cried. I'm still waiting. My son was 21 years old, just like Mitch, back with that son. About to go to the start his birth, he had a mark-up. He went to mark-up. He had a certificate name again? Engineer. Yes, had a certificate about this backwards with his father in Barbados. But we still waiting for justice. We are still in pain.
Folks, a tragedy on all sides, because here you are right again with another road accident. This time your son is at the other end, having been driven this week, driving this weekend at the time, in the discharge of his duties as a police officer, being asked to pursue this vehicle that, as you guys said, had refused to stop several times between Bushlot and the Mahaica Bridge. And in the discharge of his duties as a police officer, he's now being charged for causing death by dangerous driving. I'm happy you've come back, and I have Sheldon here, mother and cousin to Corporal Lawrence Carmichael. Have you guys, in talking with the lawyer, did you guys have a sense of why the Director of Public Prosecutions may have asked for the charges to be instituted? What reasoning was given why the charge of dangerous driving? You had a chance to. You guys had a chance to.
No, I never had a chance to talk with a lawyer or nobody. I never had that chance. I was at the court yesterday, but I did not get to talk to anybody because the way how the court is doing is a minimum amount of people can go in the court and sit there and listen to the case. So I never get a chance to go in to listen to the case as yet. But one of these times, I will have to go in. Maybe the next 4 days, I will go and listen to what's going on, and then from then on, I can talk to the lawyer. But to date, I have never had a discussion yet. I just listen what his mother said or what I gathered from him, and that. But I never get from anybody.
Thank you. Is there anything else that you guys want to put out there that we I mean, guys have had a chance to ask, but you want to make sure the public knows?
Yes, I would like the public to know that my son is not a murderer. He was in the line of duty in his job.
In the line of duty doing his job. Well, I want again. I want to thank you, Miss Carmichael, Samantha Carmichael, again, folks who are listening to us from around the world. This is the mother of Corporal Lawrence Carmichael, who has been charged, and we've been talking also with his cousin Sheldon. And I really want to thank him for spending this time with us today on our podcast.
Thank you, sir.
And I'm just going to give you folks a walkthrough again of the issues as they stand now. As you know, a few weeks ago there was this accident that happened at the Mahaica Bridge that stemmed from the pursuit of a car being driven by Mr. Christopher Bagwandat. In that car on that fateful day also was Miss Sharida Prasad, Christopher being 21, Sharida being 16. In the course of duty, according to what the family is telling us, Corporal Lawrence Carmichael was asked to pursue this vehicle as it had failed to comply with police order, at least, I think the family said, twice before it got to the Mahaica Bridge there. Having left the Bushlot Secondary School, it was pulled over by police, or police tried to pull over the vehicle twice before it got to the area where Mr. Lawrence Carmichael was. And he had gotten a radio call at that time stating that this vehicle was coming their way, it had refused to pull over, and that they should try to intercept the vehicle. And that was the duty that he was executing when as the video that has been in circulation on social media shows, Mr. Bagwandat's vehicle collided with a cancer truck on the Mahaica Bridge there, and causing the loss of life not only to Mr. Christopher Bagwandat himself, but also Miss Sharida Prasad, and also resulting in injuries to Corporal Carmichael himself. Folks, those are the facts as they are out there. You've heard from, again, Samantha Carmichael and cousin to Corporal Lawrence Carmichael, Sheldon, been talking with us. And we are here in what is known as Union Village. It's a number 30 village with the west coast of Belize. And that's the update we have on this tragedy at the Mahaica Bridge for you guys. And we want to thank all of you. We want to thank all of you for joining us today. We're going to keep you updated as this matter progresses. We know it's at the level of the magistrate's court, and Mr. Carmichael has been attending court as required by the judicial system, and we're going to keep you updated as to where this matter goes. And folks, the family is, as you can expect, the matter is they've been hurting on both sides. You've heard, I guess by now, you should have heard the plea that Rihanna Bagwandat has made publicly, and now we're hearing from the family also of Lawrence Carmichael, the couple who has been charged and placed on $1.5 million bail. His cousin Sheldon told us that he's still at work, still discharging the functions of a policeman, and that is where the situation is currently. And guys, that's what we have for you today. And we're so thankful for all of you who would have tuned into our program from around the world. We always say that you guys make the program what it is. You guys keep showing up, and we keep getting to the information that we think you all know about. And again, we're privileged as you guys could have joined us today, even under the circumstances of these two grieving families. That's our time today. As we head back to the city, we're so glad. I'm trying to get a sense of who would have joined us on the program. That's our time today, and I'm happy that all of you would have joined us. We continue to encourage you to share the program so that other folks get what is valid and credible information. And I'm trusting that you guys have better context for this story as we get a fuller picture of what really transpired on that fateful day of the tragedy at the Mahaica Bridge. Guys, you would forgive us today if we don't give you guys a shout out under the current circumstances. You will forgive us if we ask to put a moratorium on that aspect of our program. But again, I want to thank the Carmichael family for coming on our program and for having their views heard, their views out there. Thank you. And our thoughts and prayers are with all of these families who were involved, the Prasad family, the Bagwandak family, and the Carmichael family. This isn't an easy issue to make sense of. Very, very nuanced. Here's a policeman in the pursuit of his duty, in the pursuit of the discharger's function. These two young people lost their lives, as they've said. Several stops along the way, refusing to heed to police advice to pull over, and ultimately, Corporal Lawrence Carmichael got the call and to intercept this vehicle that was coming their way as it proceeded to the Mahaica Bridge, and they had actually were successful in pulling the vehicle over, according to what both the mother, Samantha Carmichael, told us, and his uncle Sheldon and his cousin Sheldon. But in approaching the vehicle once more sped off, and it was in pursuit of the vehicle. You had what is dubbed the tragedy at the Mahaica Bridge, and folks, we're going to continue to bring you as much details as this matter winds its way through the legal system. We're going to continue to keep you updated. That's our time, folks. We encourage you again to share our program and to smash the emoji button for us so that many persons can receive valid and credible information. Thanks for joining us today. That's our time, folks. Leaving you from Berbice, where the temperature is 29 degrees outside here, but the temperature on this issue is much, much higher. Weather.com tells us it feels like 33. We're going to see you guys back in studio for our evening program, In the Ring. That's our time. Thanks for joining us.